Awesome. And this thing, guys, I tell you what, there's almost too many options on it. You have 2 options on this one. Oh my goodness.
We doubled from the last floor plan.
Today's episode of the RV Voice is brought to you by BishFix. Ever been stuck with an RV issue miles from the nearest service center? With BishFix, expert help is just a video call away, saving you time, money, and keeping you on the road. Try BishFix risk-free with a 14-day free trial and use promo code RVVoice at checkout to get 60% off the full retail price.
Alrighty, welcome to another episode of the RV Voice. Today we have another manufacturer one coming up for you. So this is actually Brinkley RV. We're going to be talking about the 2680 Model Z and the 3300. Now, this is we're talking with Paul Laux. Paul is the director of sales or manager. I can't remember exactly, and I apologize every time. But all these guys have different. Each manufacturer has a different name for these guys. But Paul is very knowledgeable, and he's been doing a great job for us here at Bish's. And we're going to walk through the 2680 and 3300. And we're also going to push you towards the Josh's walkthroughs as well. But before that, guys, we're going to talk about BishFix. This is brought to you by BishFix. Why? Because BishFix is the industry. I don't know. It's a revolutionizing thing. We're making RV service better. There's the 90-day rec time, repair event cycle time for your average repair on any RV. Basically, you get to bring your RV in. They're going to go through it. It could take 90 days up in service time. Now, we got that down to less than 28 days, if not less than that, and you can have your RV the whole time. If you want a discount code on that, use promo code RVVoice to lock in your price for years to come. That is $199 a year. That is less than $17 a month. That's a lunch, guys. So, that being said, use promo code RVVoice if you want to lock in that price. And let's kind of get into this. I'm going to welcome Paul. If I press the right buttons here. Paul, welcome back. Thank you again for coming in.
Thanks for having me
here. Absolutely. We're going to talk about the Model Z 2680 and the 3300. And you said before, we kind of talked about it beforehand, Josh has a really good in-depth walkthrough. But guys, you might miss something. Josh might miss something. This is why we're bringing Paul in. He's the expert on these things. So, Paul, I'm going to kind of let you take the ropes here. And do you want me to pull up your slideshow?
Sure, we can pull that up. First off, thanks for having me again. Glad to be on. And yeah, to your point, anything that we talk about today, obviously Josh has done a couple videos that have released within the past week or so, all the latest and greatest floor plans that he's all over, shooting in our marketing studio on site, and arguably one of the best in the business at doing walkthroughs of any factory, new floor plans, new brands, and so on. So yeah, he puts a lot of us guys on the OEM side to shame, but the only thing I have going for me is I work at Brinkley directly. So, but yeah, we can get into all that if you're able to pull up my little PowerPoint deal. There we go.
There we go.
So I cheated here. This is actually our 2670 model, which was the first floor plan we brought to market, sub 30 foot. And today we're going to talk about the next one, which is our 2680. One thing on this next slide. So this is a new feature, our Helix Pin Box by Curt. So this is going to replace all pin boxes on our Model Z fifth wheel products moving forward. We went live with the Curt Helix. It was end of September. So we're coming up now right around 60 days out to market. Micah, I talked about Micah in my first podcast on the Model Z. He did a lot of extensive testing of his own with the Curt Helix, and was super, super pumped about the performance, how it rode, how it pulled the unit. So this, like I said, it will be standard on all Model Z fifth wheels moving forward here. The cool parts about it, you have the coil spring in the center there, which is going to absorb any bumps, chucking, jarring. It minimizes all the impact damage that you would receive from that kind of vertical jouncing that you get when the fifth wheel is hooked up to the bed of the truck. The shock absorber, which is on the front there, that's going to help dampen oscillation and again reduce more of that chucking and jarring that you get on the pin box transferred to the truck, to the frame of the unit. And then this product in general is going to reduce 30% or more shock to the frame. So there's 2 models, and that's all based off of GVWR of the unit itself. So we've got our 1250 model and then the 1500. So basically that cutoff will be our 2670, 2680 that we're talking about today, upward to the 3110. And then the 3100 model and larger is going to have that 1500 model, but they look identical. Coil might be slightly different, larger size, but something that I did want to highlight today that we've recently added to the Model Z fifth wheels.
Yeah, and I really think that's going to do some good thing. If you guys haven't seen Josh and JD from Big Truck Big RV, I get together with those guys and do a live. We actually covered our RV's junk a couple weeks ago. It was actually yesterday, but you guys won't see it until whatever I drop this. But anyway, we talk about suspension in general, or how to make just the ride smoother for an RV. So this Helix bundle, because if you make it smoother, there's going to be less issues, less warranty issues, less problems going down the road, and just you make your RV last longer in general. So this is a really big plus. But this isn't going to be a super deep walkthrough of the 2680 and 3300. But if you do want a major in-depth walkthrough from Paul Laux here, he talks about everything in depth of the Model Z. I mean, to a T. We're talking nuts and bolts of this thing, and it kind of goes across all the brands and floor plans. Correct?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
Uh-oh. Did you cut out on me?
Uh-oh. Did I cut out?
Yeah. There you go. You're back.
Okay. Technical difficulties, right?
Yeah.
So what I was starting to say, that in-depth walkthrough, we've obviously made some product refinements, enhancements since that data was put out, but yeah, it gives you a good kind of overview of our product in general, what we do differently than majority of the competitors in the fifth wheel market. So
you guys can watch that here, and I'll put that in the description as well. But next page, take it away.
Cool. So on the 2680, again, I touched on, I briefly mentioned it before, this is our second entry to market with a sub 30-foot fifth wheel. And so the 2670 super viable floor plan, gives you a nice, kitchen area, gives you the off-door side hallway, walking upstairs. So you have kind of a flip design in the upper deck of versus the 2680. One thing that the 2680 does achieve that you can't do with the 2670 is full access with the slide close. So I'm talking access to the refrigerator, the bedroom, the bathroom, which is super important to a lot of avid campers. So we've addressed that concern with the 2680, and it'll still be nice to have both in our lineup. Like I said, they're both super viable layouts. Obviously, you can see we've maintained the cross-conversational seating in the 2680. You've got your theater seats in the slide next to the pantry and the 16 cubic foot reefer. And then you also have your trifold, that 64-inch that makes out into a 54 by 70 when extended. So our dining table is a little different here. It's not really going to slide side to side like the 2670 started, but it'll be more like, if you watch our Model I video, it just articulates in and out to extend for seating. And then you've got storage underneath, which is easily accessible. And again, keeping in line with everything that we do in Model Z, we're not cutting corners as we go shorter length, right? So we're kind of trying to redefine this as a short luxury fifth wheel. And that's really, there's nothing in the market that calls itself quote unquote short luxury. So keeping things like solid surface countertops all throughout the unit, our CraftSense wood trim construction, same slide fascia installation process, same cabinetry fronts, drawer guides, dovetail jointed drawers on everything that we put in the unit, no crown moldings, no hidden trim that starts to fall off as soon as you get to the campground. Our front AC is still going to be the 13.5 kBTU, which is ducted to the bedroom bathroom. It does also include a heat pump that operates down to 32 degrees. The Furrion 18K chill cube is going to be in the main living area, and I'm sure I've mentioned it a million times. I can't say enough good about the chill cube and its performance. It'll freeze out the room in the summer months. It's pretty solid. Pantry has the large pull-out drawers like our 2670. You're going to get the one-piece fiberglass shower. You do also have stackable or combo washer and dryer prep in this unit. Obviously, if you go stackable, it's going to chew up majority of that space, but you still have got extra, cabinetry and storage throughout the rest of the coach in the bedroom as well.
I love the drawers underneath the bed. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, something a little different with the 4 drawers underneath. We've got a residential bamboo memory foam mattress. You have outlets, USB and USB-C all around. We've got the square frameless windows. So again, those open 6 inches from the coach versus your traditional like 3 to 4 inch opening. And with the integrated screens, with the valances all gone from the unit, right? So we just trim around, kind of continuing on with the CraftSense wood trim. So we trim around the window casing versus put the big bulky valance with a pull down blind. Our automotive grade sealant package, again, I touched on that in the longer Model Z video, but a general gist of it is we seal our units from the inside out, utilizing a Turnabond taper on our 90s. So, roof to sidewall, slide boxes, and so on. And then we use a high grade, more commercial grade butyl BCF as, more of a gasket seal around your windows and baggage doors. Appliance packages, though, I touched on the ACs. Furnace is going to be a 35K BTU. We're still going to have the same 16 cubic foot fridge, 30-inch microwave. You get the 3 burner range and oven cooktop combo. So that all maintains as we go through. Same, slide box heights, same rear wall heights. We did also include, like the 2670, our 3.3 cubic foot reefer, which is outside towards the back there. It's got a little note in the bottom left corner of the floor plan image there. And then that's also, just built right in. So it's housed right into the sidewall, doesn't chew up from any internal space where we've located that. One note I did want to make on this, if you look at the UVW being at 10.9 with the GVW being at 13.9, on average, you're going to be getting around 3,000 pounds of cargo capacity on this floor plan, which is huge on a sub 30 foot. Just, you don't see that. So kind of continuing our tradition and story of we are building these for a lot of people that are going to be using them more than the average, weekend camper. We've seen that time and time again. We're tracking, roughly in the high 20s, low 30% of our Model Z customers are using these for full-time use. So that's really, really important to point to, for those shopping around, looking at other short units that want to tow them into, state park campgrounds and things like that. That's going to really lean to those customers a lot more. And again, that's all because we're using the 7K axles, 8K leaf springs, and a heavier duty chassis. It's going to lean towards that higher cargo capacity.
Yeah, this is actually one of my personal favorite floor plans. Reason being is just that you have your necessities, right? I like that there's only one slide in it. Personally, like if I were to buy an RV, I would probably avoid the slide, at least at first, because, slides, there are issues at certain times. But, you guys have, I'm sure you guys have tackled that. The one question I have about this floor plan personally is, the one thing you might miss out on is probably lighting. I don't know. You guys have bigger windows and you have, you use the square window look, or the nice edge look. By all means, it's awesome looking. Do you think there's plenty of natural light in this in the rear living space?
Oh, without question. I'll show you in the next slide, and obviously Josh's video as well. He does a lot of in-depth, looking around with the camera. It's massive amounts of windows. Yeah, it doesn't do it justice. Obviously, looking at the overhead here.
Yeah.
If you look along, towards that 10-foot awning in the back, all those kind of lighter cutouts along the sides are all windows, especially going around the back wall.
Oh,
so there's a little desk back there with a huge window, nice big square window, and then we've got longer panoramic windows. And in fact, when we go into the next slide, I'll touch on some things that Mike kind of tweaked from Proto 1 into Proto 2 and beyond. One note too, I did also want to make is this is our only floor plan with 120 gallons of gray water capacity. So we do our true 80 plumb together.
Oh, shoot.
And then we've got an additional 40-gallon tank for the gray water. So that'll be tied to your, washer prep if you so utilize. If you don't want to do washer dryer, maybe that's not something that you want to chew up your closet space with. Then you'd still have those two 40s plumbed together into a true 80-gallon capacity for gray.
Perfect.
And again, making it simple, one factory option is the dual pane windows. We've already built in everything else. We've got the tire pressure monitor kit. We've got the We've got the Cooper 17.5-inch H-rated tires. We've got the hydraulic landing gear. We've got the hydraulic flush floor slide. I mean, it's all built in a more compact package. I can't stress that enough, how important that is for those just wanting to get shorter but not have to chisel away all the content and features that they're accustomed to.
Yeah, I kind of like that, because there's some of them are just too much. You know, I look at option pages. I've had to build out some back in my selling days, and oh my goodness gracious. I mean, it makes it way too difficult. It's just like, let's just keep it simple, stupid. You know, the KISS method.
Well, yeah, it gets confusing, and then I think ultimately a consumer starts to question, what do I need? What do I not need? Is this important? Yeah, I personally enjoy a buying experience when I don't have to worry about tacking on every single option, and it's already kind of either built in or it's a very limited option list.
Yeah.
So here's a look at the inside, and
to
my point earlier to your question, all the window coverage, and that's just on kind of around the back wall, over the desk and kitchen sink, and then wrapping around onto that door side or camp side. Yeah. It's unmatched, I think, what we've done. So the first proto, that little corner window that it looks like it's got a little split down the middle, he actually had those separated in the first prototype, and it just kind of broke up. It didn't flow as well, and it just bugged Micah. He's very, very meticulous when it comes to attention to detail. And so we actually put those together, and he shuffled down the that outdoor refrigerator I mentioned. So I don't have a ton of bullet points on here, like I said, but the biggest things are going to be the window coverage all around the coach. And it's hard to see here, but in the other picture on the right, next to the fridge is going to be your theater seating, and then you've got big windows right behind there as well. So plenty of natural light for sure. Full accessibility with the fridge, bathroom, bedroom. You can get to all of those items when that slide is closed. And then the stackable washer dryer prep in the bedroom slide, or in the bedroom wardrobe. Those items, and again, the cargo capacity is another item I mentioned. I believe I've got that on the next slide. And the gray water capacity, those all lend to more of your full-time, use customers.
Yeah, I really like that. They have the, it's a little desk there, and then you can pull out that and have a little desk there, and then you still got the seating, and you can have people over because you have the trifold sofa type deal. And this is the first time I've actually even looked at the 2680, to be honest with you. So I'm impressed with it just looking through here.
So we released the prototype, I should say, we put out at our dealer event in Elkhart back, about 60 days ago. This model was, you could see the excitement from the dealers, especially when it addresses that concern of, I can't get to my bedroom or my bathroom with the slide in. Mm-hmm. That was a huge, feature that a lot of customers wanted. And so we're reacting to that feedback and getting something to market that achieves that goal. Awesome. So last slide on the 2680, just a couple things on the outside. A look at that 3.3 cube, 12 volt refrigerator. And that is towards the back of the wall. If you notice, it's kind of hard to see in that picture, but we don't have our traditional flip up storage built in off of the back wall. If you think back to the inside of the floor plan, you've got your desk and a lot of your kitchen equipment translating from the back wall and transitions and turns over into the door side. So this little black box here in the picture on the left, that's our under I-beam storage. So that's going to be just over 14 cubic feet of extra storage, just actually attached to the chassis itself. So if you're familiar with our 3400Z floor plan, it's got that rear patio. Obviously, we can't put a storage bay off of the back wall on a patio. And so that was an idea that we utilized not only for your collapsible roof access ladder, but then also your patio steps to store. This is just going to be open storage in this floor plan. So, just again, when we take something away like that, we want to be thinking forward, how else can we achieve getting more storage work back in? So just a cool little idea, something that we did different, but that kind of covers the 2680. Again, I told you it might be short and sweet today compared to our other ones, and I don't want to step on Josh's toes too much. He does a much more involved walkthrough than I can.
Yeah, if you want to see the walkthrough, go on, click it there. Go show Josh some love there. He's a like you said earlier, one of the best in the industry. He knows his stuff, and I have the pleasure of working with him alongside him and going, having long in-depth conversations live, which if you guys haven't heard of those, we do live events with Josh and JD from Big Truck Big RV, and you can just sign up for the RV Voice on YouTube, the RV_voice, and you'll see those coming through here. We're going to try to do those monthly, so sign up for that, and let's move on to the 3300.
Oh, my mouse.
There you go.
So the 3300. Oh, one thing I didn't touch on, the 2680, the MSRP standard run was around 98,000. That's before any freight to the dealerships, and obviously with standard options and equipment. This 3300 is going to jump up about 20,000 on the standard run MSRP, with one additional option outside of the dual panes being the queen bed with nightstand. Since we are on a bed slide, traditionally we always ship everything with a king bed standard, and then if a customer wanted to do a queen for the additional nightstands, they can. So on this one, it's kind of a, man, I don't even know how to describe it. It is like kind of a unicorn to me. Okay. Being that we've taken multiple different ideas from other floor plans.
This thing's a unicorn, huh?
So take 3, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get through this. I swear, people. If you're watching this, we've had some technical difficulties, which is, it seems to be Paul's problem. I never have any issues unless Paul's here. So
yeah. I think it's my first interview. It really did me in.
Yeah,
I used all my time.
Yeah. All right. So this is a unicorn.
So on the 3300, we've kind of taken a hybrid of different floor plans that we've already created. Now, the 3400 has a similar layout, but if you're looking at the diagram here, we flipped the slides. So on your campsite or your door side of the coach is where you traditionally find your seating elements. So instead of, one of the other things we hear commonly is, man, I hate feeling like I'm walking right into the kitchen. And so this kind of addresses that concern. The other big item, we've heard a ton of positive feedback on our 3400 bedroom and bathroom layout. So 3400 was the one where we could put the bed slide out and still have that sink turned on the outer wall, versus having, a single entry point into the bathroom like your 3100 or 3610. And so again, this takes that upper deck of the 3400, flips the slides in the back. And then one of the unique features that we've worked in here is the, not only do you get your 16 cubic foot fridge, you also get another 3.3 cube little mini beverage fridge or cooler. One of the things Micah was really cognizant of working in, based on feedback too, was dishwasher prep. So this is the first Model Z with a dishwasher prep area, and it's actually can fit a residential size dishwasher. And so we'll get into some photos that kind of showcase that little area.
A residential sized?
Yeah. Yeah,
oh,
we've done, we did I can't remember the exact model. It was an Edge Star. I know that. And we did a kind of a proto pilot just to see if it would fit and how to plumb everything. And it fits perfectly into that space. I believe Josh did mention that in his walkthrough video, the size dimensions, because we don't have it listed here. And he probably was told right before the video. And I should have brushed up and done my homework. I apologize. But yeah, he actually, I remember even watching as part of his video, and he has a little side-by-side comparison of the mini fridge and then the Edge Star dishwasher in there as well.
All right.
So to the right of the fridge, you've got your 84-inch pantry with the adjustable shelves, which you commonly find in all the Model Zs. Again, can't stress enough how many panoramic windows and just overall natural light that you're going to get in this floor plan. Mm-hmm. The other nice thing about it is it's going to keep you under that high, 30 foot to 40 foot range. So you're going to be, under 37 at 36.7 overall length. Again, pointing to the UVW and GVWR differences. So you're on 8K axles versus our standard 7s. So we use the 8Ks for our heavier duty floor plans. So if you look at those and take the difference, I mean, you're sitting at, 37 to 3,800 pounds of cargo on a Model Z, which is just out of control. Mm-hmm. Then if you keep moving down, our freshwater capacity, this is the first and only Model Z with 150 freshwater gallon capacity. Our grays, we're plumbing the 245s together for the true 90, plus you get the 28 extra. So that'll be 118 on your grays, and then your Blackwater 45, which is standard with our bigger Z fifth wheels. 6-point hydraulic leveling on this floor plan. Your 2 main opposing slides in the kitchen will also be operated off of hydraulic as well, and they'll be the rack and pinion through frame. So it's a pretty sweet floor plan. Again, lots of great feedback from our dealer base. We're very excited to get this out to market, for the consumer to see and hopefully start buying. I mean, it's kind of the way that we're branding this internally is it's a full-timer's dream. I mean, it's got everything that you need from the dishwasher prep to the layout, to the bedroom bathroom combo. You got washer dryer prep up in the front closet, that cargo capacity, the freshwater capacity. I mean, it all lends to people that want to be out camping for longer periods of time.
Yep. Great counter space.
Oh, yeah.
Is this still a two AC option, or is there a third AC? Because we're getting that kind of range.
No, this one will be 2. So even our 3400 is 2 because it's really the 2 main living areas. The only one Z with 3 will be the 3610.
Okay.
And that's zoned for the center, flex room, office, bunk room, whatever you want to call it. And then the bedroom will have its own zone. And then the main living will always be that Furrion chill cube. Awesome.
And this thing, guys, I tell you what, there's almost too many options on it. You have 2 options on this one. Oh my goodness.
We doubled from the last floor plan.
Oh man, this is a good looking floor plan though. I really like it.
So this is kind of a peek at the inside. And again, here's that bev fridge. So you have solid countertop here with 2 windows right above. You've got a little wine rack on the left of the fridge. And then that would be where you would pull that out. Now, again, this would be an aftermarket install for a consumer that would be interested. But it is plumbed for that dishwasher. So you can take that out. It's already got the 110 outlet. Unfortunately, that 110 outlet is not tied to the inverter prep. So you can't run the dishwasher off a battery. I know that'd be a huge thing for some people probably, but that is one 110 outlet in the coach besides the microwave that won't be tied to the inverter prep. So, well, I say the fireplace too. But yeah, your main AC you can run off of inverter or battery, I should say. All your 110 plugs, excluding the fireplace, bedroom AC, and then that microwave, and in this case, the dishwasher prep. But such a cool floor plan, in my opinion. It shows really well when you're inside of it. We had it outside at our open house event back in at the end of September, and yeah, when you're outside, natural light. I mean, it's just it allows in on both sides.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I mean, really, you guys do a great job. The Brinkley product is above and beyond a lot of manufacturers, in my opinion. I'm a little biased because I love these things. But one thing that I've from my sales past, a lot of people seem to avoid like rear kitchen styles. Now, this is kind of a mix and match, like a rear kitchen versus like almost a rear living, right? Because they just throw it around a little bit. I want to hit on your suspension here. I know we talked about, we have a full walkthrough on that. If you really want to check out all that, Paul does nail it. He goes through it in depth more than anybody will ever do. So you need to really check this out. But I want to know, like, as a consumer with a rear kitchen style, like putting your dishes, whatever it may be. Some people will use actual dishes or just paper plates or plastic, whatever it may be. Your suspension and your new Curt system up front with the Helix pin box, that's going to minimize a lot of that ruckin', chuckin', bucking, the 8.5 earthquake that your trailer goes through every time you travel. This is going to minimize that. Would you kind of like break that down a little bit more for us?
Yeah. And thanks for bringing up the Curt again, because that's what I was going to point to. That addition is going to smooth out a lot of that transfer of kind of shock to the frame from the bed of the truck, all that jarring and bouncing around going on the highway. That's the toughest part, I think, about, well, I should say, I don't engineer these things, but I would have to argue that's got to be one of the hardest things, is thinking forward, because we can build a unit that's very, very stout, but it goes down the highways and it bounces around, or, a consumer might load them up weird or overload them, or whatever the case is. Could be their truck setup, so on, that really beats up the frame and the unit. One thing though, so we've got that Curt Helix up front that's going to dampen a lot of that. transfer to the frame and to the coach. The second thing that we're doing too on our, not only are we doing upgraded 8K axles with the 8K leaf springs, we've got the Cooper H-rated tires, which are, you know, the 17.5, just larger for less impact on the coach. They're H-rated versus like a mid-size comparable to something like this is usually going to be maybe a E to a G-rated tire. That certainly won't, you don't see a lot of H-rated tires out there in the market on a mid-size fifth wheel. And then lastly, the suspension. So we're using Road Armor, the rubber equalizer in the center, and that reduces shock to the frame and distortion by another 31 or 32%. So you take the new Helix in touch with in line with the Road Armor, and I think that is really going to reduce a lot of that jarring and bouncing around. Now, the one thing that you know, with the slides enclosed, you would have to bump at least one slide to access the refrigerator. No different than our 3400. And quite frankly, I don't know that complaint will be heard as much on something like this, just because this is probably going to be the floor plan that people are parked in, camping in for extended periods of time. Yep. They're not moving to a new campsite, you know, even every week.
Yep.
So I don't know that we'll hear that objection quite as much. And then having the accessibility, the big thing that I hear more than anything is the access to the bathroom.
Yeah.
In the bedroom with the slide closed over the fridge. Now, you know, the trifecta is to have all three, of course, but you put the fridge over where you can get to it. And then again, people keep going, man, I feel like I'm walking into the kitchen. So we're trying to come out with some new ideas, something a little different, a little fresh. And the big thing is the first Z finally with dishwasher prep. We hear it constantly at shows, and I know our inside guys take a ton of calls on those too.
Yeah, and I forgot completely to put Shop Bish's RV. Guys, we sell Brinkley. I don't know if you know that. But I'm supposed to put a QR code. I forgot to do so. I'll drop it in the description and check out. Our team's really good at this. Our guys keep on top of this. And if you really want to check out Brinkley, by all means, call in on any Brinkley product that you want through Bish's, because we have some master guys on this. So what's the next slide? What we got next?
I got one more here, and this is just the outside. I did cheat and use the same photo from the 2680, but excuse me, that under I-beam storage is actually the same size, that 14.1 cubic foot of storage. Again, going back to my previous point, we don't have that back wall storage bay that's worked in off of like what you see in the 3100 and 2900 and 3610. And so, again, we want to make sure that we're still giving people the storage. Excuse me. You will get a massive pass-through, unobstructed pass-through in this model. And the other highlight was the bathroom setup. So by moving that sink to the side wall, that just opened everything up, and we get a two-way entry into the bedroom bathroom. I did want to touch on, you got over 3,500, I think. Excuse me. My basic math was around 3,700 to 3,800 pounds off of the posted, you know, UVW versus GVW for your cargo capacity. And then also we've got over 64 square feet of windows on this floor plan. So I think I can't say it enough. I think this is going to be potentially a top seller for those that are full timing in a Model Z. Based on the length being, you know, kind of at that right point. I know we're over 35, and that's kind of the sweet spot to be under. But it's too hard to do with all the features that we put into it. So, yeah, Josh obviously can take it away and get all the high-end details in his walkthrough.
Absolutely, guys. And there's the 2680 walkthrough from Josh, and then the 3300. Josh stays up to date. He's usually one of the first guys at the manufacturers dropping and releasing these things. So, you know, you probably already, if you're seeing this, you probably already followed that. But he does a wonderful job, and the guy is incredibly smart when it comes to the RVs and RV industry and as a whole. And so is Paul. Paul's been at it for a long time. Paul, you've been, what, like 10 years now, right?
I started in 15, so yeah, we're getting there.
Oh, my goodness. 2015. Yeah. I was still playing college ball, baby.
I didn't have a gray hair in my head when I started. So.
Oh, well, you know, you chose this life, so.
I did. It's fun. It's fun.
Awesome. Well, Paul, thank you very much for your expertise in walking us through here. You guys do a lot for us, so I really appreciate that. And RV Voice YouTube, guys, if you want to, you know, follow along with us. We're going to be talking to manufacturers, we talk to full timers, we're going to talk to more camping gear in general. We're going to talk to guys that outfit Class Bs or they do flip, camper vans. We're doing that stuff, custom camper van stuff. We're reaching out to all these people. And if you want to be a part of it, please follow along on the RV Voice YouTube. And we'll be doing live with Josh, the RV Nerd, and JD from Big Truck Big RV. And we're going to start bringing in some other stuff too. We're going to do a whole lot of different things. So please give us a follow there. And again, Paul, thank you so much for everything that you do for us. And thank you for being flexible enough to show us a little bit about what you know about these 2 new models that just came out. Again, Paul, is there anything else that you'd like to add before we kind of close out here?
Well, just keep buying Brinkleys.
Keep buying. Yeah, this guy needs money. You got to keep him employed, I guess.
No, I do appreciate having me on again, and yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome, y'all. Well, guys, stay tuned for more from the RV Voice.